Hello, everyone. Welcome to Impossible to Say. My name is Kat Wellington.
And my name is Emily Proctor. How is everyone doing? Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I'm trying to start my timer. Okay, there we go.
It's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys, if you're
I
watching it today.
know. Happy Spanks, everyone. I would be watching this video to avoid having to hang out with my family. I know that. I know that
Yeah,
much.
of course, I can't, but this is the first year of my life, 26 years, that I won't be with my family, which feels a little weird. Like, it's obviously fine, but I found out that my boyfriend's family does not do Thanksgiving food at all. So I did have like a Friendsgiving where I got Thanksgiving food, and I don't even like the food, but I found myself being like, oh, like, okay, we're not gonna have Thanksgiving food. But like,
What?
I don't even like it that much, but it was just like, but I have to have it once a year.
Well, yeah, of course. What kind? Do you know what's on the menu?
I guess we're having French onion soup, which like obviously I
Oh,
love and I'm
oh,
so
that's
excited for.
that's huge, actually.
No, I know, I'm like thrilled. Um, but yeah, he was like, yeah, we don't really do that anymore. I'm like, oh, very cool.
We don't really do that anymore.
I know, it's
Perfect.
so funny. But
Love that.
I am gonna be sad. Like, I miss my brothers and stuff, but also, I don't have to do any small talk, so that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it is just a day where you,
It
like, literally
really
sit
is.
sit at a table and eat with your fam, like, every other day. I
Yeah,
guess me right now.
it's just a dinner. Barely a
Mhm.
dinner. It's more like a lunch.
What if you had to pick, like, one Thanksgiving food that you, like, needed to have every year, what would it be? Like, what are you, like, missing?
Literally nothing. Like, that's why I'm
Oh,
so dramatic. I think my favorite is mac and cheese, which isn't really like
yeah.
has never my family has never made mac and cheese until I made it last year because I was like, we have to do something about this.
I
But it's
think
like not really a Thanksgiving food.
you and I made Teeny's recipe last year, didn't we? Isn't that the one you made?
Yes. It is so
So
fucking
good.
good.
So good. I don't understand, like, I guess she's, like, weirdly getting hate right now, or there's, like, some controversy behind her mac and cheese recipe, which I, like, can't wrap my head around. I don't understand.
I saw like videos about that this morning, but not like actually explaining to me what it was. But yeah, I'm gonna have to ride by my girl. So whatever's
1000%.
whatever's going on, like her mac and cheese is so good that I'd have to defend her no matter what.
I know, I, like, think there's some kind of, like, controversy behind her recipe. Like, it's not
Specifically, oh, I think it was something like stealing recipes,
oh,
but they're very clearly like her original.
yeah.
I don't really know. I guess I could look into it more before speaking about it.
Well, I literally
Um,
don't care. I still stan, like you said, so it's fine.
I do also just like her. I think she's cool.
Mhm, mhm. I love seeing, like, her glow up that has happened within, what, the last year. Like,
Hmm.
you can see, like, in the space that she's cooking in, she got married. Very lovely.
Yeah. And she deserves it. Like she's really giving us the
100%.
recipes. And I
Absolutely.
act like it's like I'm like, oh, like to my family, I'm like, oh, you guys aren't gonna have my mac and cheese this year. Like my mac and cheese. The video has like 50 million views.
Ah, everyone that's so funny. Everyone at work keeps asking, like, they keep talking about, like, what they're making, what they're bringing, like, and my boss asked me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't unfortunately, I don't have a role in the kitchen when it comes to Thanksgiving. I'm still only 26. Of course, I'm not
No, I
cooking."
know. It's so crazy. Like I really last year was the first time I like clicked into it because I was like, I sit my ass down and my
Mhm.
mom and my grandma and like we usually have family friends over. All the moms are in the kitchen like cooking and I've never made anything and I was like, oh, maybe I should like make something. So that's when I made the mac
Mhm.
and cheese for the first time. And then also like this sounds bad, but I truly my whole life, I go and I eat, and then I go sit on the couch and maybe like take a nap or something. I don't even do the dishes. So last year was the first year.
Cat.
No, I know. It's crazy. It never even occurred to me because
Oh
like
my
all
go
the older women just get up in the kitchen and they're just like, of course, all the men are obviously on the couch watching football, but I was
yeah.
with the men. So then I
You know
realized
better.
I know. Last year I was like, I gotta clock in. So I made my mac and cheese and I did the dishes.
Well, you turned 25 last year, so your frontal lobe developed, so that makes sense. Like, that's the right timing.
Wait, that's actually so true. Like it really
Yeah, it
it happened
clicked.
like that.
Uh-huh, mhm, absolutely.
I am really starting to feel like a full grown adult.
Yeah, I finally got my dental insurance covered.
Mm.
Obviously, when I signed up for healthcare earlier this year, no one told me that you had to sign up for dental in the same day, otherwise you just don't get it.
Had
Um,
no idea.
yeah, so I finally have dental, which is great. I get to get my
Mhm.
teeth cleaned next year without having to pay $500, so I'm really excited about that.
My mom has
Um
sent me so many different texts being like, "Hey," because my health insurance with my parents expires in December, so in a couple
Mhm,
days, and I haven't gotten health insurance yet, which I need to do. That's on my list of things to do today. But my mom has texted me so many times, like 6 months of like a series of texts, like hey, you could go get a teeth cleaning now while you have insurance.
right.
And I haven't gone.
Yeah, I did try to get, some appointments taken care of before I got off my health insurance, but, like, no one it is such a stressful process, like, no one tells you anything about it. Like, I had no idea what I was doing when I signed up for my health insurance. I was like, "Yeah, sure, that one looks good, I guess." I have no idea what a deductible means. No idea, but sure, I'll
I
sign up
don't
for
even
this
know where to
one.
start. I googled health insurance, got overwhelmed, and closed the tab. So
That's
I
fine.
know.
Honestly, like, I as much as I didn't know about it, I do feel like I'm a little bit more educated. I don't, like, fuck around with my health. Sure, I don't have a primary care, but I have a gyno and a dentist. I don't know what else I need. Oh, and a dermatologist, obviously, the most important. But I pay a fuck ton for my health insurance because I'm so terrified of something happening to me, and then I have to pay millions of dollars because this country's healthcare system is so fucked up.
Yeah, I live the opposite way where like obviously I haven't had to think about it at all. But I
Yeah.
haven't gone to a doctor in probably at least 5 years.
A single doctor or like a
No, I've
primary
gone
care?
sorry, I've gone to a gynecologist. I haven't gone to like a regular doctor. And I've also gone
Naturally.
to multiple dermatologists, but that's not really one you
I mean,
need.
at the end of the day, like, your face is what really matters. I don't care
No,
about
I
the
know.
internal whatever's going on internally is none of my business.
Like we had to post on YouTube for like a couple people. Like we have to look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of doctors, I am suffering from, like, literally a broken back right now, you guys. I guess also with getting older, like, obviously, I was in the bathroom this morning washing my face, bent over, bent back up, completely fucked up my back. Um, and my mom was like, "Well, just go see your primary care." And I was like, "Babe, I don't have one." So
Wait, but it was just from bending down? Is that what you said earlier?
yeah, I, like, was helping my mom cut down a tree a couple weeks ago, and it was just the 2 of us, obviously, and I was trying to prevent a branch from hitting her neighbor's house and, like, kinda tweaked it then. And transparently, I've always had, like, I don't know, kind of an issue with this shoulder, and I've, like, noticed it when I was lifting and actually working out, but I didn't do anything about it, you know? So now, I really fucked it up this morning. I guess I just, like, pinched a nerve or a knot or the muscle, I have a tear, I have no idea. So, I think I'll be going to an urgent care after this episode, which will be
Yeah,
fun.
Emily, like we just started, we got on the call and Emily was like, "Hey, just like a heads up, I'm going to urgent care after this." I was like, "Oh, okay, why?" And she was like, "Sometimes I have to like take a breath because it hurts so bad." So, hey, don't say we never did anything, you
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely. It's like one of those things, and I mean, I feel like most women have a pretty high pain tolerance, and this is something obviously I've ignored in the past, but I was on the phone with my mom driving, so I'm, like, using my hands, and it's, like, a thing where I'm like, "Whoa, sorry," because like, the
Yeah,
pain is so bad, so I feel like I probably should get it checked out, I think.
definitely. I'm so sorry and I'm sorry you have to record. I mean,
It's
I hear
fine.
you with back pain, and also back pain's, like, so hard. That might be different because you might have, like, actually injured something and hopefully you can do something
Mhm,
about it.
mhm.
But I've just had, like, the worst back pain since middle school, and now it's at the point where, like, I've gone to multiple doctors and there's, like, multiple things wrong, but it's like, you just have to go to physical therapy 3 times a week or you're fucked, and I'm, like, not gonna do that realistically, even though I have all the time in the world. And it was at this is horrible. When I was at Disneyland, it's so bad when I'm standing for long periods of time because normally I can just it's like pretty constant, so I've just gotten used to
Mhm.
it. But at Disneyland, I had to find Advil. Like there was no I wasn't gonna survive the rest of the day, like trying not to cry vibes.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking embarrassing. But I'm going around to all the counters trying to get Advil, and I'm like asking the people. Meanwhile, there's lines of like a million people buying ears. Had to go to three different stores. Waited for so many people to buy, which I'm happy that they had them, of
Of
course.
course.
But yeah, it was tough to get Advil in Disneyland, but they do have it.
That's really good to know. It is so hard getting old. And, like, I still feel so young, but, like, it is crazy. Like, this is completely ruining my day. I was sitting at my desk earlier, and I, like, couldn't focus on anything. I, like, am feeling extremely fucked up, but it's fine. It's gonna be fine.
Happy to be here though, y'all. I'm also feeling old because I'm the mother of three children right now.
Yeah.
I'm cat sitting two kittens. And it's so fun because they're so cute and they're very cuddly. Like they're the kind of cats where like if you sit down, I'm sure I hopefully at some point in this episode they'll come up to me, but if you sit down, if you're horizontal, they will come lay on your chest immediately. But they're so skittish, like the second you get up, like they sprint. Like if I even look at them, they sprint in the other direction. So it's so funny. I'm like, y'all are so dramatic because you're not scared of me. Um, but Cheddar at first was like not addicted to them. I
Mhm.
think he gets mostly scared of other cats, but like now I think he realizes he runs the place. So he's been kind of like because they were harassing him nonstop in the beginning and he just like wasn't
I'm
engaging.
sure.
And
Yeah.
now, 'cause, yeah, they like him, but now he is harassing them. So the tables have kind of turned. He's chasing them a lot now. And I don't know what's normal. Like everyone was telling me to get another cat. I don't know if it's normal for like a chase to end in a fight or if that's a bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, are they, like, brawling to the point where they're, like, shrieking? Like, you know the meows when cats are, like, going at it.
Yeah, there will be like a shriek, but I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
Cheddar. So I'm like less worried about him. He's just drama. Come here, baby.
Uh,
Come here.
which one is oh my god, hi, little
Good
princess.
timing.
Oh my god, wow. It's like she heard
This
us.
this is Lady.
Hi,
Lady Lynn.
lady.
You smell like litter because you just used the restroom.
Oh my
And one thing about
god.
these little girls, they can shit. Like they, I don't want to expose them like that. But I mean, there's something about a kitten's shit because Brooke will text me like about Jonathan's shit smelling so bad,
Yeah.
and I'm like, remember Cheddar's used to smell so bad it was downstairs in the basement, and you could smell it from my kitchen in my old house upstairs. That's how theirs is. So,
It was
Period.
insane, like, you literally had to, like, hold your breath if you went to use the bathroom down there. It's
But now
crazy.
his poop doesn't smell now.
Yeah, middle-aged man. So has this changed your perspective on possibly getting another cat?
Actually, it's changed it in a positive way. Like I won't
Yeah,
because I really do think he likes to be alone and he likes the attention from me. Like he doesn't like seeing them like cuddle up to me and stuff. And
yeah.
I think I realize that he's happy on his own.
Yeah, he probably likes being able to, like, have his own space and not, like, competing with anyone else there. That makes sense. I, like, can see that for Cheddar. He likes being an only
Yeah.
child.
Okay, so we should talk about Emily Saw
You
Wicked.
you guys, I don't want to go into any spoilers, and there are things, Kat, that I wanna talk about off camera that I can't believe you didn't tell me about, but I'm so glad that I didn't even know anything remotely about it.
I would
Um,
never tell you that.
I don't even wanna even get close to spoiling it for others. Genuinely, like, from the second the movie started to the second when the movie ended, like, I was just tearing up the entire time, and I was trying to keep my cool. I didn't wanna have, like, tears flowing. I was sitting next to my mom. I knew my mom was gonna be like, "Are you okay?" I did try to give her a heads up, and I was
Yeah,
probably gonna sob. But just, like, anything that happened, I just, like I was just feeling so emotional. I couldn't
that's how
believe
I
it.
felt too.
Like,
Exactly how I felt.
the first time you see Ariana, the first, like, note of so many songs, like Glinda and Elphaba meeting the first time, it's just It's too much. It's too
I have
much.
full body chills with you talking about it right now. It's
I
really
just
insane.
it was just so well done, and I feel like there were such high expectations, but like you said, like you and Brooke both said, like, no notes.
Yeah,
Like, there was not one
that
bad thing about it. It was so
that
well
is
done.
really how I felt. Like, I'm sure other people have notes, I just personally do not. And for
Mm-mm.
something to, like, me I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but for something to mean so much to so many people, like, they had to make it perfect, and they just did.
1000%, and I truly cannot think of 2 more perfect people. Like, Cynthia and Ariana are genuinely like, they were made to have these roles. I'm, like, tearing up thinking about it, like, it genuinely, like, it is just so perfect, like, it is, like, fate. Like,
No, I mean,
it's unreal.
Ariana truly has been manifesting it her entire life,
Yeah,
and I didn't know that much about Cynthia, which I feel like I should have. Um, she is the perfect alphabet, and, like, for Ariana to be Glinda is just, like, so full circle for every Ariana fan,
yeah.
for everyone. It's just so and it's not like a kind of situation where a pop star gets a role and they shouldn't have. It's like, no, she deserves it, and right, she got it, rightfully so. And
It
Jonathan Bailey was also
ugh,
like the perfect Fiero. Brooke and I actually think that like because in the musicals I think Fiero is like a little bit underdeveloped.
yeah.
Um and I think Jonathan Bailey being casted for that makes Fiero like a much like obviously he's a main character, but it just makes him like such a stronger character, I feel like.
No, I completely agree. I'm so pissed. I had to, well, I guess I didn't really miss it, but I had to pee so badly, and I peed literally 3 times before the movie started because I didn't wanna have to miss a second of it. Um, but when Elphaba and Fiero meet, I, like, missed the very beginning, which I was so upset about, but it's fine. Not that big of a deal.
My mom and I
Obviously
were literally talking about because my mom was like, everyone's posting like when to pee. She was like, I'm not peeing during this movie.
yeah.
And I was like, I know, mom, but like you and I, we don't have to pee like that. But I was like, Emily will have to pee. I said that to my mom on the phone. I was like,
Mhm.
Emily's always got to pee. So I did know that you'd have to pee during the movie. And that was actually one of my questions of when you went. It's not horrible
Ye
though.
so I did start when, doctor I keep, D Doctor Dilliman, when he started saying something bad,
Hmm. That's
that's when
fair.
I went, and obviously I ran to the bathroom, like, I didn't give a fuck if anyone thought that something bad was happening, like, I literally just I full on broke out into a
Yeah.
sprint. Another theater had just gotten let out,
Oh
so I'm trying to beat
no.
these people to the bathroom,
I would have a
and
panic attack.
yeah, I walked in, massive line. So then I had to sprint all the way to the front. I'm at the mall for context.
Okay.
I had to sprint all the way to the front of the mall and go use that bathroom and then sprint all the way back to the theater. And then by the time I got back there, Elphaba and Fear were in the woods. I'm like, okay, I didn't miss that much, but whatever. It's fine, I guess. I'm obviously going to go see it again. So it's not the end of the world. But
Yeah, you can just pee at a different time this time
yeah,
around.
of course.
My mom also said, wait, first I was gonna ask, did Kyle and your mom like it? And
I did
Nana?
not I did not go with Kyle, actually.
What? I thought he was going with his mom.
Mm-mm, nope, it was just me,
Oh,
my
I didn't realize you were
mom.
just going with them. Okay,
Mhm.
just the girls.
Yeah, just the girls, obviously. Yeah, and what was so special about it is Corinne, Kyle's mom, is a huge Broadway gal as well and is obsessed with
I
Wicked. Like,
didn't
she's
know
just
that.
oh my god, yeah, she's, listens to the soundtrack, like, casually, as we all do who are
Hmm.
fans. So she, I mean, was absolutely fucking raving about it. Nana was obsessed with the
Oh,
dancing. My mom was completely addicted to it, so it was, like, the perfect group to go see the movie with because they, like, 100% truly appreciated everything about it. So, it was, like, the perfect experience. I loved it.
that's so great. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it was so, 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 so good. I'm incapable of listening to anything else right now other than the soundtrack.
Me too. It's
So
so
good.
crazy. Like I feel like it shouldn't even be real, but it is.
Yeah, like, when I don't know what else to, like, relate it to other than, like, Taylor redoing her albums, but obviously the soundtrack sounds a little bit different than the
Hmm.
original, and I wasn't sure how I was going to adapt to that, but I fucking love it. Like, the way
Yeah.
Ariana sings different, notes and Popular and, like, enunciates things differently. Addicted, obsessed.
Yeah, I feel like any note change was, like, very, like, thought out and intentional because Jonathan Bailey obviously changed the note that Brooke and I are obsessed with that I can't even,
Mhm.
like if you don't know what I'm talking about, instead of, like, "Why invite stress?" And he goes really high on the invite, which is a sound that I cannot replicate, obviously,
Uh-huh.
which is why they didn't cast me. And then there's, Cynthia does one change. I can't remember it right this second, but, like, it's one of those things where the whole theater, when I went to the premiere, was like, she does a
Y
run somewhere that there's not in the original, I think in Defying Gravity.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It is just so I'm, like, trying to think of, like, a movie that's, like, moved me in this way since I saw Interstellar when I was, like, 15. Like, I
Not Barbie?
No, I guess Barbie was really touching, but the music isn't the same, and, like, music
Yeah.
obviously makes me emotional, so, I don't know, like, it's just so special, and I feel like people who aren't addicted to Wicked like we are still gonna really appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it'll be great for everyone. I'm hoping maybe my little sister will see it with me. When I asked her if she wanted to see it,
Aw.
she didn't really care, but
She will care if she
she
sees
doesn't know the lore.
Yeah. Well,
So,
which a lot of people don't, which we talked about last week, and we don't have to get back into it, but, like, people I feel like are trying to give, like, a heads up for the 2nd act,
yeah, the
you
second act is
know?
crazy. No one's talking about how insane the second act is.
I know. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't fucking wait.
Me
Cannot
too.
wait.
I'm so
It's
excited.
really sweet that they're only making us wait, like, a year,
I know that
instead
was
of, like, 2.
nice.
I
Anywho.
saw Mary Beth this weekend.
Oh yeah, how was that?
So, 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 so good. Obviously, we saw I think the first, like, true comedian that I was, like, excited to see, bought a ticket for. I wasn't, like, young because I think I went to go see, like, a comedian with my parents when I was younger, but, we saw Annie what's her last name?
Letterman.
Annie Letterman. And I mean, I was cackling during that, obviously,
Yeah,
but
so good.
I didn't know too much about Annie, but Mary Beth Brown, full name. Um, I obviously listen to her podcast and I'm so addicted to that young woman in so many ways. So
Mhm.
like I just like even I just couldn't stop smiling and laughing. She was so, 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 so good. I loved it.
She was really good. It was like every single it feels like she's my friend, I think, because we listen to the pod. So
Mhm.
everything she said was just even funnier because I was like, I know her, like, I love her.
I genuinely could have listened to her speak for like 6 plus hours. Like I could have clocked in a 9 to 5 with just her speaking in front of me on a stage.
I agree. I think because it was so good, her stand-up felt so quick. Like, I
Mhm.
really felt like it had just started, and when
Yeah.
she said she was done, I was, like, shocked. Like, but, I mean,
Cool.
obviously, she did the time that she was supposed to do, but I was literally like, it was so good that it just went by so fast.
We had, I can't remember the opener's last name. I'm pretty sure her first name was Jasmine. I don't know if we had different openers. She was from California.
I
So,
think oh, maybe, I don't know.
but
I don't remember
basically
my opener.
she did a lot of crowd work. And there was a couple sitting in the very front row, I guess, and I couldn't really see them. The layout of we were at the Arlington Draft House for my local girls, and I guess is a really old movie theater that they kind of turned into like a venue, for a multitude of things, but it was just desk chairs, cocktail tables, and then, like, movie theater chairs, but also rows of, like if you were to go to, like, a seminar in a massive auditorium, like, you were either in class, at the movies, or at work. It was
That's insane.
insane.
That sounds kinda
It was
fun.
it was so sick, like, it was really cozy, but anyways, there were people in the very front, so I couldn't see them because they were in front of the seminar table. Um and she asked them, she was like, "How'd you guys meet?" And the couple was like, "Bumble." And she was like, "Okay." So that's obviously the girl message first, like, "What attracted you to his profile?" And she said, "Honestly, at the end of his bio is what really got me. He had said, 'No matter who you're voting for, just go vote.'" And I said, "That's my man." And the entire crowd gasped. Like, we're in Arlington, Virginia. Keep that
And
in mind.
she's Mary Beth is pretty political.
Yeah, and I mean, this was the opener too, who had obviously already been
He
making
Oh,
jokes
okay. I
about
forgot that it was
Trump.
the opener. That makes more sense. Go ahead.
But still, I mean, the crowd obviously there,
Yeah,
like, Mary
yeah,
Beth
yeah.
knows, like, she's a liberal. So, the entire crowd gasps. Someone literally yelled, "Ew." And I think the comedian, she was so caught off guard, but she basically was like, "Okay, you and I are not the same. I'm really happy for
Yeah.
you. I would never message that man." It was so uncomfortable, but also so fucking funny. I mean, I personally felt mortified for the girl. I don't know why she couldn't just say literally anything else, being like, "He's hot. His photos were
Well,
hot." I don't know.
yeah, and also, like, even if I don't feel that way, I've made that clear to you guys, but, like, even if I did feel that way, that wouldn't be, like, what attracted me to someone. Do you know what I mean?
I I just thought it was the most random thing, and, like, with the timing too with the election, I just like, okay, like, I love someone who might be, like, involved in politics, but, like, on your dating profile, like, that's not what's gonna get me to message you. I don't know. I just thought it
Also,
was
did they
so
just
random.
meet, or does he have that, like, year-round?
Apparently,
It
they've
must be a
been
new relationship or something.
it's I think they I wanna say they've been seeing each other for, like, at least a year. So, I mean, he might work in politics. I don't fucking know. We're close to DC. There's
I
a
guess
fat
DC.
chance. Um, but yeah, it was the strangest thing. She was wearing a hat that said, "I'm literally just a girl." I don't know if that
Right.
helps. We we obviously didn't want to leave, the venue when the show was over, and we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do afterwards. And we were some of the last people to walk out, and she also was one of the last people to walk out because the comedian said something about her hat. So, like, even if you couldn't see her, you still would know which one she was. And
Okay.
when she walked out, she was, like, face in her phone the entire walkout. I felt kind of bad, but I mean, like, what do you expect?
I mean, were they sitting in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't I mean, if you don't wanna get roasted by the comedian, you can't sit in the front, so
Also, just, like, maybe think about how polarizing politics have been lately and just maybe don't say that, especially at a comedy show, knowing that you could get absolutely cooked.
yeah. I mean, you're gonna get cooked every time.
Yeah, but besides that, it was great, and there were some good, ex-best friend stories that Mary Beth asked for. There were some good ones there too. We were trying to get, our friends in our group to raise their hand, but
Oh
they
my
weren't
god.
they weren't willing at this time.
Yeah, I well, when she asked our crowd that too, and when she asked that, I was like, "Oh, I would love to tell mine, but I don't even know where to fucking start."
That's what we said. If we had, like, practiced beforehand and made sure that we hit, like, the spots, then maybe we could've, but there's just too much.
The person that she did pick for our show, so she just went around and was like, "Give me an ex-best friend story, and I'll tell you if you're in the right or in the wrong." I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was, like, definitely they were in the wrong, like, just, like, pretty objectively, and she was like, "I don't know what you want me to do with that, like, I think you're
Oh
definitely in
my
the
god.
wrong." Like, it was so awkward, and it was so funny. Like, it was something about living together or something, but it was just
Yeah.
pretty like, I was obviously on the other person's side, so it was so funny because they were, like, so serious about it.
I love that, and that is something about Mary Beth, like, she's also, like, pretty candid too. So she's gonna tell you. We actually had a group of 3 girls who used to be ex-best friends who had recently reunited at the show and told their
Aw.
story, which is, like, kind of insane, but they were being, like, pretty vague about it, and Mary Beth was like, "I kind of need some more
She
details."
was that happened with us too, because the story he told, everyone was like, "What?" So then he had to go in more
Yeah,
in depth, and that's when we found out he was in the wrong. But
perfect, that
it's tough
makes
to get into
sense.
the ex-best friend details, like, on the spot like that for sure, because it's
I mean,
always a million things.
yeah, it definitely takes, like, longer than, like, the minute and a half you have to keep the crowd's attention and tell an interesting story, like, obviously, there's way more details. So, these girls basically were like, "We were drunk, we got into an argument, I flipped a table, things were said, we didn't speak for 6 years, but then we recently reconnected," and Mary Beth's like, "Not sure what to do with that, but I've always wanted to flip a table," so
It does sound really fun to flip a table.
yeah. They said they were in a public space too, like, at a bar and flipped a table.
I was
Be so
just
fun.
zoning out because I was trying to think of how I would concisely tell my ex-best friend's story. This is how I think it would go. Um, I was hanging out with other friends more. They got upset. And then one day I got home and said hello in the kitchen, and they were no longer speaking to me, so gave me the silent treatment to my face. So then obviously
Ah.
I'm too stubborn to, if someone's giving me the silent treatment, I'm too stubborn to be like, hello, like what's going on? So I waited until they brought it up, and then I asked them to seriously tell me what was wrong because I felt like anything. I specifically said, I feel like if I took a cup out of the cabinet in a different way than you liked the way I moved my arm or something, you would get mad at that. And she was like, yeah. So she just kind of admitted that everything I did was pissing her off. So she gave me the silent treatment in the home. And then everything kind of fell apart after that. And then this is the last thing I'll add. There was a guy who R worded me. Should I cut this?
No.
And she
I
knew
mean, it's
that.
up to you, but no.
She knew that for years. And like this guy, I have found out more recently. This is not funny, but more recently, another one of like a friend of friend, same exact situation with this guy happened with her, which is like horrible, but
Oh
also like a little bit like
God.
validating, you know?
Yeah.
This girl knows all of this. She's like the biggest girl's girl in the fucking world. Like that is like her claim to, she just likes to say she's a girl's girl all the
Mhm.
time, which like if you're
Mhm.
saying it all the time, you're probably not. But yeah,
Scary.
then she took him to a formal and he slept at our house.
I didn't realize he slept over. Oh my
Yeah, and I was
God.
like, she asked me and I literally said, yeah, because
If
like,
you have to ask.
yeah, because
Ugh.
it was the kind of situation where he had also known that it happened. Like he knew what happened was very wrong, and I won't get into the details, but like to the point where every time I saw him after that for years through college, like we both, he knew I didn't like him. Like I
Yeah.
communicated that to him. But we were like, it was kind of situation where, you know, when you like, I would like talk myself out of it, but then I'd be like, no, I know what happened and I wasn't
Mhm.
drunk or anything.
Yeah.
And so I was like friendly with him, but like he always knew I didn't like I ended up blocking him on everything just because he like triggered me. But yeah, I stopped at my house, so not horrible. And then she like really
Ooh.
liked him. It was so weird. I was like, girl.
The
So
way
anyway,
that
I think Mary Beth would say that I was in the right, right?
1000%, and she would probably say some insane things about your ex-bestie that I would die to hear.
I know. I kind of wish I
Mhm.
said that, except for just like in one sentence about the R worder,
The
because that's
R-worder.
more drama. I don't think
Yeah,
well, I guess
obviously.
we could say that on YouTube. I don't really know.
Is it insane to say that she probably wouldn't have gone after him if he hadn't R-worded you?
Probably not. She started like
Mm.
secretly. My friends were telling me that they were like flirting at the bar and stuff, and I was kind of just like, and he's an attractive guy, but I was like, I don't care. Like at that point, like we had kind of like had a conversation to make things better, but I
Yeah.
I had already decided like I this is not a friendship. And there's so much more backstory of like a million other people she's done the same thing to. So like I wasn't taking it that personally. I was sad, but I was also like, this is just is not like a lifelong person for me. So we're just gonna
Yeah.
get through this time of living together. So then yeah, like one of my other friends told me she said she liked him and stuff, and I was like, if that's who you wanna, you know, if that's okay. Because
It was
that's
just
why when she asked me, that is one of those things I wish I could go back in time and be like, fuck you. Like, you're
yeah,
disgusting. Like,
like, made a bigger deal out of it that you deserved to do.
yeah. And there was this other, didn't think I'd get into this today, but I'm sure I have gotten into it at some point. She made me feel so disgusting because our sorority was 500 girls. There was this girl that was in the pledge class below me. I like knew her on a hello basis, maybe not like not even that. Like if I
Mhm.
saw her in the house, I probably wouldn't say hi. But like if I saw her like out, maybe I'd say hi, you know? Like I knew
Mhm.
her. But like I didn't know anything about her. She dated this guy for a couple months. They broke up. Later, I ended up hooking up with the guy Which, like, I don't she's not my friend just because she's in my sorority of 500 girls, like, it's not my responsibility to uphold fucking girl code for all of
No,
these women. I
of
don't
course.
know
You know
them.
how many men would be off limits? Not
Yeah,
saying, but you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so she, like, was, like, so mad at me that I did that, and I was friends with him for years. So, like, I'd
Mhm.
already known him, so, like, told me it was disgusting. That was before I'm like, it just everything was so hypocritical, like, made me feel so bad, but then did had the nerve to ask me, the guy who did that to me, if she could bring him to our sorority function and then also have him sleep at our home. And I was like, at that point, I was so done with her that I was like, yeah, bring him. Like, bring him.
Literally not worth my breath. That
But I do
something you
think,
shouldn't even
but
have to say.
yeah, but like I was gonna say, if I could go back in time, I would tell her she's fucking
Yeah,
insane.
1000%, and I do hope one day you get the chance. Maybe that train hasn't passed.
She has like critical thinking skills. Hopefully, she'd be able to. I think over time, hopefully, she'd be able to be like, oh, that was really wrong, you know?
I
But
fucking hope so. Like,
yeah, as far as I'm
Jesus Christ.
concerned, he can
Uh,
pass.
oh my god.
And she has some learning to do, but can probably move on.
Anyways, thanks for sharing, Kat. I really
Yeah, of
appreciate it.
course. No worries.
I guess we should do what we came here to do.
Yeah, I would love that. I probably talked way too long.
Oh my god, stop, it's fine. That's literally our job here.
It's so true. I do want to give a follow-up really quick on one. I think it was last week about yeah, you read this one last week about like the ghosting, that guy who was
Mhm.
ghosting her and then asked about a FaceTime. Exactly what we thought would happen did. So I just want to read this real quick. Hey girls, I'm just giving a follow up on my advice question you guys read on the pod about the guy that seemed so great but kept ghosting me. When I sent it in, he was saying he wanted to FaceTime to explain why he ghosted me. But before that even happened, he stopped texting, blocked me on Instagram, unmatched me on Hinge, and even blocked me on Snap right in the middle of a conversation. I know Snap is always a red flag, but I legit never met him in person. So I did want to know what he looked like. Okay, fair enough. But anyways, clear that his text about how communication is so important and how he hates leaving people guessing was all just a lie. Just wanted to follow up and let the girls know that if he ghosts you once, he will do it again and again and again, and he probably has bad breath anyways. Not sad about it at all because his loss, but wanted to let you guys know the outcome. Love you guys so much and love the video. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, but I'm glad that that ended with what we probably thought was going to happen. So, and
It's
she doesn't
also
have to waste her time.
yeah, I'm glad that you didn't get, you know, intermixed in that situation. It's kind of giving he had a girlfriend though as well.
Oh, I never considered
Or
that.
at least like someone that he was seriously talking to, like feel guilty, ghost. Oh, never mind. I want her back.
S
But then ghost again. But then
Yeah.
the blocking to me is giving girlfriend.
Well, especially with, like, how, like, quickly it occurred. She said they were in the middle of a conversation when it happened, right?
Like right before they were supposed to FaceTime. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
So he's bad news.
So interesting. I also have an update that
Ooh.
I forgot about, but you just reminded me. So I'm glad that you had an update. This one is about this was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Um, this girl had gotten broken up with, and the guy started liking and like following all the people and
Mm-hmm.
things that she was obsessed with, and we were like, that's extremely bizarre. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Um, so I have 2 emails from her. So, "Hey girls, so I do have an update for you guys regarding my weirdo ex that follows all of the people I enjoy slash fangirl over. I'll start with some details I left out the first time. For clarification, since I left it out, he broke up with me after 3 months for the whole it's not you, it's me type deal. He's a few years younger, so I think he just wanted to sleep around and live his early 20s. Totally fine. I wasn't heartbroken. It definitely needed to happen. We broke up in May. We went no contact until the end of July. hooked up immediately, went no contact again for 2 weeks, then he totally blew me off and was rude at the bar. No contact for another 2 months. He was more enthusiastic that time, and then no contact again, which is when he started being weird. I also cannot block him due to the fact that we do share a friend group and it would just cause more problems. I think we had recommended that she probably block him because it was
Yeah, that makes
getting a bit
sense.
weird. Um, she said 2 days after the podcast episode came out where you guys read my original story, I did receive a insert name here is typing notification. He then stopped typing, then 3 minutes later said, "Sorry, I didn't mean to type. I was looking at the videos you sent me on my birthday." To which I replied, "Okay, no worries." Then he started chatting me up, catching up, and ultimately inviting me over due to it being like 3 a.m. And I hadn't showered since being at the bar. I politely declined and said, "Ask again in a few days." So last night I did go ahead and go over to his house. He bought the Uber both ways. Yay, bare minimum king. And I can say it was nothing more than platonic and just an average hookup. I fear he lost his spark. But he did hyper focus on talking about Connor and Gracie Abrams and trying to prove some kind of point, I'm sure. But then I went home, in and out in an hour. Great experience. Probably would do it again for the plot. Thanks for everyone's support, and God only knows what will happen moving forward, of course. Love y'all, and sorry for probably doing the one thing I shouldn't have done, but the plot needed it. Someone has to be the entertainment shitfire relationship girl in the friend group. So that was one email. And then she sent another one, and this was 2 days later. She said, "Update to the update. He was a secret Trump supporter. He's now blocked on everything. The chapter is over." That's it.
Okay, great. I'm glad to go on that journey with her.
Oh, I know, I love that. Also, like, how can you be into, like, all those things and be a Trump supporter? Sorry. I just think that's
Yeah.
so interesting.
So I guess
Ugh.
I mean, there was kind of an ulterior motive to liking the things she likes because they hooked up again, which is kind of one of our thoughts, I think.
Yeah, we were saying, like, maybe he was trying to rekindle, but it sounds like she's completely over him and just wanted to hook up with him, which is best case scenario.
Yeah, because we were kind of thinking maybe it's like weirder than it is, but it seems like maybe he just likes those things, which they're normal things to like, but it was just the only if you haven't heard that episode, it was he started liking all the things that she loved during the relationship, but that he had
Mhm.
no interest in while they were dating. So that was the only
Prior,
reason that
yeah.
made it weird. Yeah.
And he was being, like, very, like, apparent about it. He was, like, liking her comments on these people's posts, resharing things to his story. I don't know, it was extremely bizarre. Um,
Yeah.
I have I have an actual advice unless you have something you wanna read.
Um, you can do yours and then I can do mine.
Sorry, I just waved to my father. Hope you guys don't mind. Um, I can do one?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey girlies, love the pod so much. Really helps me get through my weeks as a corporate girly. I'm having trouble with my recent ex-boyfriend and I don't know what to do. A little backstory, we started dating in 2020 and we're together for 4 years. It was a great 4 years up until the end when he started gambling often. It caused a lot of issues in our relationship and with his relationship with his family. It came to the point where he lost a lot of money. His family found out and he got sent to therapy. He lied to me about going to therapy for 3 weeks. During this time, he was acting so weird, so I thought he was actually cheating, but really just lying to me about being in therapy. At the conversation, he told me about all this. We broke up, and since then, I've been broken up for about 2 months. Now to my current dilemma. I still have his location. I'm not fully over him as I thought I was going to marry him, but that's a problem for another day. Recently, when I've checked his location, he has been at a casino. Literally every day this week, I'll check it randomly throughout the day and at different times, and multiple times he has been at a casino. He promised me he was working on his gambling issues and then would come find me again so we could pick up where we left off. But 2 months later, and he's at actual casinos gambling. Doesn't sound like he's doing much to get better. I guess I just don't know what to do with this information. I love him still and want him to get better, but clearly he's not. I'm the only one that has his location and knows any of this information about his recent whereabouts. Do I send the screenshots of his location to him and ask him what the fuck is up? Do I reach out to his family or is it just not my problem anymore? Any advice would be great.
Oh, that's really sad because that's such a tough reason. Addiction is such a tough reason to break up.
Yeah.
Um, I think personally, if I were in your shoes, I would reach out to his family because clearly, like, people have tried to intervene with him and that's not helping. Like, so, you texting him that,
Mhm.
I don't think will help him in any way, even though, yeah, I mean, it should, but like at the state that he's at, it won't. I feel like
Yeah.
4 years, you probably know his family pretty well. I think I would just send it and like be like, so sorry, I'm not trying to get involved. I just still have so and so's location, and it is like it's concerning me how much he's at the casino. I just wanted to make sure you guys were in the loop.
Yeah, I feel like definitely if there is still I mean, even if there wasn't, but because it sounds like there's still a lot of love there and she obviously still cares for him, like 1000%, like no doubts I'd be reaching out to his family for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just be like, just wanted you guys to be able to handle this on your own, but let me know if you need anything from me. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's more you can say it in a polite way where it's not like you're not telling on him, like you're trying to help him,
Mhm.
which I'm sure to him it will look like that. But there's also if they're smart, they'll be like, we know you're at the casino and not give him the reason why.
Yeah,
Because it
1000%.
sounds like they were spending, you said they were spending his family's money too, right?
I don't
Or
necessarily know if it
they
was
just got,
family's
he
money,
just
but
lost a lot of money.
yeah, he apparently spent a fuck ton. Yeah, he came to a point he lost a lot of money. His family found out and he got sent to therapy.
Okay.
So, which it sounds like he didn't even go. So I think it's best to in the long run for him to just I mean, even tell his family that, be like, he lied to me about therapy, he's at the casino, obviously not getting
Yeah.
any better. It's so crazy. I mean, obviously I will sports bet occasionally, but my coworker and I were on DraftKings just like going through some of, like, the crazy props that they have, like, and the odds, and I'm like, "This is literally why this app is so fucking addicting because it's, like, so exhilarating to, like, spend $10 for the chance you to win 10 grand that could, like, change your life." I don't know. It's so
Yeah.
scary, and it's so accessible now, it's fucking wild.
I know. I guess that does make sense. Like it is just the thrill of it.
Mhm.
I've never really, I guess I've never really gambled, so I don't like know the feeling that much. Well, actually I've gambled, I just haven't won, which is where you get that feeling.
Mhm. Yeah, so maybe that's for the best.
I grew up playing blackjack my whole life with quarters, and it's like such a fun childhood memory. Me and my brothers and my dad would play all the
Yeah.
time. And now I just like don't I sit down at the table, don't remember what to do at all. Um, Too much pressure, and I want nothing to do with it. So I just lose all my money immediately, and then I get pissed off, so I leave, or I just
Easier to sit th
watch my friends.
Yeah, easier to sit that one out.
But I like watching other people gamble their money.
Well, yeah, it's more fun and less real, less scary, of
Yeah.
course. I felt like we were gonna be pretty aligned on that answer, but I guess I really just wanted to read it. Think to give her like the confidence and the reassurance to like definitely reach out because I think it could really make a big difference in this young man's life.
Yeah, I agree. I just got such a weird text. I can't wait to tell you.
Oh my god, what?
Just from someone I like don't talk to at all. You could probably guess who it is. Um,
Can't wait.
all right, I also have an advice. Hi, ladies. Love you two in the pod to death. I went on a first date with the Hinge boy the other day. We had been talking for about a week before the date and seemed to have a lot in common: music, movies, politics, general overall vibes. So I was really nervous and excited to meet up with him in person. We ended up going to dinner and then walked down the street for drinks afterwards. It was definitely a good date overall. He was cute in person, very nice. The conversation never felt awkward, and there was really no major red flags. But I got home and felt like something was missing. I didn't really feel a romantic spark or a physical attraction. He put his arm around me a few times and we did kiss at the end of the night, but it felt completely awkward and forced. And I didn't really want to kiss him. He said he would want to go out again, and I feel horrible because he's so nice, but I don't know if it's worth it if I know I'm not feeling it. A few of my friends think I should give it another shot and maybe the spark will grow over time, but I just know deep down that he's not the person for me and don't want to waste either of our time. Ultimately, I want to kiss the guy I'm on a first date with, you know? I don't want to settle for less than that feeling. But should I? Am I insane? Like this is a perfectly nice and great guy. Why can't I just like him? Is something wrong with me? I'd love any insight, advice y'all have on this situation because it's truly driving me nuts and my friends don't seem to understand. They've been with their partners for years, and I'm the only single friend in the group, so I think they kind of think if a nice guy comes along, I should just snatch him up no matter what.
Well, with all my years and experience of dating, no. Based on I feel like the way that, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this as well, like with the stories that you told about the guys that you were going on dates with, I feel like in this case, it might not be worth her time to go on a second date. What do you think?
I agree, and the reason I wanted to read this one, I feel like there was dates that I went on where I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm feeling the spark, but I would do a second date." But
Mhm.
I didn't usually kiss those people on the first date. Like, I feel like a kiss
Yeah.
is kind of telling. Like, if you have no desire to kiss them at all and it feels awkward, then I feel like that's probably because sometimes I feel like you can't tell if the spark is there, like the attraction is there because you haven't
Mhm.
really like had any physical connection at all. So
Yeah.
I feel like if you've already had that and you don't want a second date, I feel like I think call it.
Yeah, I do think that if it's, like, really bugging you and you really are, like, very unsure on what to do, I feel like maybe then go out on the second date so it doesn't, like, keep you up on night at night if you feel like you let a good guy get away, but, like, truly, I feel like based on, like, the stories that you've told me, like, that romantic, like, spark and chemistry, like, you do feel not pretty quickly, but, like you said, like, a kiss is really telling or, like, you do know, obviously, when you wanna jump a guy's bones, so
Right.
I just don't think I just don't think it's worth her time.
I got advice from a lot of other people saying you don't always feel the spark on the first date. Like I
Right.
didn't feel it on my first date with my husband, but then by date 3 I was obsessed with him. And I do think obviously that's like a real possibility and it like probably isn't going to hurt you or him to go on another date to figure that out if you really feel like you have to. But also I felt like I took that advice a lot and because most of the guys that I went on dates with like I didn't really have any like, horror stories, definitely, like,
Mhm.
1 or 2. But, everyone was nice. Like, truthfully, everyone is nice because there are a lot of nice people. There are a lot of shitty
That's
people, but there's
exactly what I
there's
wanted to
also a
say
lot of
too.
nice people.
So many nice
Like,
guys. Yeah.
most people are gonna be nice, at least on the first date. Like, maybe
Mhm.
a little later, who knows, but
Mhm.
at least on the
Right.
first date. And, like, I think I did try to kind of force a second date with a lot of them because I was going through this same thought process of like, why not? Maybe I will feel differently. But in my experience, I never really did. Like when I had that feeling on the first date, I had it on the second, like, or if I, God forbid, 3 dates, like it did never really changed for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like in my experience, I would just say call it she's also I think she said she's 23. She, like, included that underneath. I'm like, "Girl, you're fine. Like,
Baby.
you're
Yeah.
okay. You will find someone that, excites you in some kind of way because you deserve to be excited to go on a second date, like, at least a little
Yeah.
bit."
Yeah, I feel like it goes both ways because I said, "Well, if you're really on the edge, like, don't do it." But I feel like if you are heavily considering, then, like, I feel like there's a huge part of you that's holding back and doesn't wanna go on a second date, which is telling. So,
Yeah, and she also literally said, like, "Deep down, I know that I don't wanna be with him." So I think
yeah.
that's enough. Like, I can see the friend's perspective. Like I said, like, there was a lot of people telling me, and I feel like a lot of people tell single women in general, like, "Oh, no, give him a chance." But it's like, no,
Yeah.
there's you don't have to give him a chance if you don't feel it at all. You'll meet
1000%.
plenty of more nice guys that you have things in common with. The harder thing to find, like, is that spark. So, I bet
Mhm.
you will.
Completely agree.
Really beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. Alright, I do have, like, a quickish story I could read to kinda, like, close this out. Hi, Kat and Emily, obsessed with the pod and love following along on your lives. Here's my story that I've been meaning to share for a while now. In March of 2023, my roommates went on a St. Patrick's Day bar crawl in Manhattan while I stayed back at our apartment since I was taking a medication that I couldn't drink on. For context, we live in Hoboken, just outside of New York City. My boyfriend also lives in Hoboken and happened to be day drinking in New York too for the holiday with his friends. We were hanging in the morning at my place, and he told me he'd see me later. With nothing better to do while all my friends were out having fun, I decided to clean my room and just lay low at my apartment. At one point, while they were gone, I walked to the bathroom and passed my front door on the way there. I noticed the door was unlocked and made a mental note to lock it on my way back. I've never felt unsafe in my apartment because we have a code to get into my building and I'm on the top floor, but better safe than sorry as it's a small building with 2 units on each floor. Anyway, within the minute I peed and was about to leave the bathroom, I suddenly heard the front door to my apartment open and slam shut. My heart fucking dropped. I called out to see who it was, but no answer. Immediately, I checked my roommate's and my boyfriend's locations, which all showed that they were miles away in Manhattan. I texted my boyfriend right away, freaking out. He answered and told me to check who it was, but I was way too scared to do that. After what felt like an eternity, in hindsight, it was probably about a minute and a half, the intruder shook on the door handle of the bathroom, banged on the door, and said, "Let me in." I clearly wasn't thinking straight as I was scared shitless, pretty justifiable. It couldn't have been my roommate or boyfriend. Their location was nowhere nearby. In panic, I dialed 911, got transferred to the local police, and whispered that there was somebody who broke into my apartment. The police arrived quickly, and 8 officers burst into my apartment while I still had myself locked in the bathroom. A woman officer came up to the door and asked, one, if I had a boyfriend, and two, what his name was. I answered, and she told me it was him and I could come out. Turns out that his location didn't update fast enough because he was in an Uber in the tunnel. It's all a matter of minutes from the tunnel to my place. I was so pissed off. My boyfriend was profusely apologizing and didn't realize from my text to him that I was actually scared and that he told me to come out to see who it was. He wanted to come home early from the city and surprise me to hang out. The one cop goes, "Well, surprise." The cops were so nice about it and were really glad nothing was actually wrong. I ended up getting taken out to a really nice dinner that night because my boyfriend felt so bad, and it makes a great story for us years later. Lesson here is always lock your door, and before calling 911 on an intruder, make sure Find My Friends updates correctly.
I was so scared when you got to the part of him banging on the door.
Me too, and I read it and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad that this listener and reader
His
is still here
writing,
with us
yeah.
is still here with us today." I would have genuinely had a fucking heart attack.
'Cause we used to get, like, a lot of scary break-in stories and that kinda stuff, so I thought it was in that genre.
Yeah, well, also the subject line, I'm pretty sure it just said something like, "The one time I had an intruder in my apartment," or some shit like that, like, it didn't give it
Right,
away.
she got our asses. Wait,
Yeah, she got me
I don't
bad.
understand how the boyfriend would it be like, after he was like, "Check who it was," and she didn't check. Like, I'm sure it wasn't that much time that had passed before she called, but why wouldn't he be like, "It's me," like, say his name?
I guess he was committed to the surprise because I was thinking the same thing, and also, I had realized he had been day drinking, so he probably was, like, a little bit impaired,
Mhm.
slightly, and she said she whispered to the cops, like, "There's an intruder in our apartment." I mean, he genuinely could have thought that she was, like, taking a shit or something, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess if you're just, like, a little tipsy surprising your girlfriend and
She's
then
in the
you
bathroom,
already
like, you're just
assume that
waiting.
like, I'm sure he was assuming she thought it was him. Like,
Yeah.
even though, like, he was, like, surprising, he probably thought she knew, and she
I
didn't.
also think it's so funny, like, in her, like, sheer panic that she just fully didn't recognize his voice at all. Like, in her mind, it's like, I don't know that person behind the door.
Well, I guess probably because she had already ruled it out on her phone.
Mhm.
She was like, it can't be him."
God, yeah. I would have done the same
That's
thing.
so scary.
And on that note,
Well, I'm
uh,
so glad that this girl is safe, and that is
me
also
too.
that's a funny story to have. I'm glad they're still together. And that happened, kind of opposite, but, like, when I was in college, I can just say Elena, one of our best friends, um, it started snowing, and we don't really get snow in Mississippi, obviously. So it was, like, super exciting. Have you ever heard this?
I don't think so.
So I was like, "Elena, it's snowing, like, go out." And she was on the phone with her boyfriend who was, long distance, her boyfriend at the time. And so she kind of was just like, "All right, bye," like, whatever, and hung up. I don't know, maybe she even just hung up. I don't remember. Like, I maybe assuming that he heard me.
Yeah.
And then cops showed up to our house, and we were
What?
well, actually, it was just one really sexy cop. Um, and then we're like, "Is everything, like, okay?" And they were like, "We're looking for Elena." We're like, "Jesus, Elena, like, what's going on?" Her boyfriend called the cops because he was worried about her, like, I guess he heard yelling, and then she hung up.
That's actually insane.
I know, but same thing, like, the cops were very nice about it, and we, like, joked at them for a bit, which I guess
And flirted,
it's nice
obviously.
that he called, but it was so
Yeah,
funny, so
I
random.
guess. That is actually insane. I've never heard that story. Did you, like, invite the cop to, like, a snowball fight? make snowmen,
Well, I don't think it
flirt
was
a
that
little
much
bit.
snow. Definitely another one of my roommates was like doing some flirting with him. Like, well, I think we were all flirting with him a
Mhm.
bit. Yeah.
Naturally. One of my favorite jokes that Mary Beth told was talking about how good the merch is for the NYPD.
Yeah.
How there's, like, kids in, like, England wearing NYPD merch, and she was like, "That's fucking crazy."
It is so crazy, but it's so true.
Cop merch, like, does go hard, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of
like
merch.
firefighter stuff too. Speaking of your dad. Oh yeah, we should talk
Oh,
about the
yeah.
merch. But
Uh-huh.
like, you know, at a thrift store when you find like a really good firefighter jacket and they're so
Yeah.
cute, but it like feels
Mhm.
wrong to wear. I
Yeah.
mean, you can, but they have like
Sort
really good
of.
good quality stitching and stuff, which I guess for good reason.
To fight the fires, god, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they
No,
got
they
good
need to be
merch.
fashionable too.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Of course.
So speaking of merch, our merch came out. I think it'll still be open by the time. Yeah, it's open for like probably 2 more days when this comes out.
Yeah.
And it's hoodies. We have a gray one, a black one, and a blue, like a light blue one.
Mm.
If you
Mhm.
haven't seen it yet, it has two red Adirondack chairs embroidered just on the front. So it's the chairs that we sit in and like the cover photo of the pod. And it's really cute. The sweatshirts, like we got to try a couple different ones before we picked which sweatshirt to actually do. And I feel like the last ones we did, I still wear them all the time. I think they're super cute, but they weren't necessarily the quality that we like wanted to give you guys.
Yeah.
So these are like a sweatshirt that I would buy, like very comfy, thick, high quality. And also it's cute, like it's not too podcasty, which I feel like our other one was impossible to say, so anyone could wear it. But this one's really like anyone can wear it. Really cute. Buy it for a gift for someone. Buy it for yourself. It is linked in our Instagram bio. Um, yeah, for a couple more days, and it'll come before
Yay.
Christmas. That's the last thing.
Yes, they're so fucking cute, and I can't emphasize how soft they are. Like, genuinely,
Yeah,
I was rotating between all 3 all weekend, like, they're so soft.
they are really soft, and they come in like so many different sizes. I actually just really love them. I'm so happy how they came out.
Mhm.
This company was great to work with, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was just exactly what we wanted. So I'm so glad we have them for you guys. And this time we actually got them done for the holidays.
Yay.
So go buy them, please. Everyone you buy supports this podcast. Y'all know we ain't making that much money elsewhere. So
Literally just doing oh, sorry, whew, doing it for fun,
yeah, it's
obviously.
a donation. I think that's all we have for y'all.
Yep, that's all for me, I think.
Okay, love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Or if you're on our new YouTube channel, please subscribe. We're really low. It's embarrassing. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.